Hey Storm family, Coach Neil here with your second Dryland video with a tutorial on 3 new exercises to add to our Dryland exercises and regimen that we're going to start introducing over time as we are still out of the water for the foreseeable future at the moment. I've got 3 new exercises for you. The lunge with a track start hamstring extension. So it's essentially a lunge with a hamstring stretch into it. Then I have a ab exercise that I call an in and out, which is really good for building strength in your core and quick speed movement for your turns. It works really well for all 4 turns actually, the open turns and flip turns. Then the third exercise that I have for you is it's a straight arm raise using a couple different ways. You can do it on the ground using a couple different difficulties, and then I've also got a Swiss ball behind me with a dumbbell, or if you don't have any dumbbells at home or a Swiss ball, there are some different options that you can use. If you've got an ottoman for your couch, this could also be used. If you can pair up with a partner to hold your feet while you do this exercise, and I'll explain as I go through it why you'll need these things. But an ottoman would work great if you can get clever with stacking up some pillows. The goal of the exercise, there's varying difficulties that you can use when you have a little bit more equipment to work with, but you don't need necessarily a Swiss ball, or if you have a Bosu ball, which is basically a Swiss ball cut in half. It's got a plastic, plank on the side of it, and then a blown up semicircle, just like that. And then, like I said, whatever you can get clever with and use will really go a long way. The beauty of these exercises is that you really don't need a lot of equipment to make it effective. So the first one is a leg exercise that is really great at firing or working on your hip flexors, which is a big part of swimming, and then your hip extensors, your hamstrings, and your glutes. It's very effective at using all of these, and it's really just a body weight exercise, which is going to help build that strength to weight ratio, so the ability for you to really just kind of move the weight that you carry with your body. So I'll go ahead and get started on a tutorial on that one. So the lunge with a track start hamstring extension. So you're going to step into the lunge with a big step, firmly plant that front foot on the ground. Okay, then you're going to come down, you're going to firmly plant your palms on the ground, leaving this knee just slightly off the ground. Now when you do that, you're going to keep all these muscles tensing and firing as you do it. And what that's doing is it's really working on that strength, that stability, and it's just going to really be a lot more effective when you do that. When you rest your knee on the ground for even just a moment, that is allowing those muscles to relax, and it's just not nearly as effective. So keep that knee just off the ground, and as you get to this point, now you're going to extend this back leg straight and almost try to straighten out this leg, this front leg, as much as you possibly can to feel a hamstring stretch. You're going to hold that for a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Then you're going to bring this knee back down and stand back up. All right. Then you alternate the other leg. Okay. Come back down again, leaving this knee just off the ground. Palms firmly planted on the ground. Extend this back leg. Straighten it out. Extend your hamstring as much as you possibly can, feeling that stretch. Hold it for a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Then drop this knee down. Stand right back up. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Just like that. So when I send out the workouts, it'll be including repetitions for each leg, and I'll specify that when I send it out. The second exercise is the in and out, and it's a core exercise, and what it does is it's really good at bringing in basically the front area of your core. So from your upper abs all the way down to your hip flexors, all right? And it even involves a little bit of your triceps. But like I said, it's great for turns. So for flip turns, you need this area of your core and your hip flexors to get in very quickly into a tuck for backstroke and freestyle flip turns. For breaststroke and butterfly open turns, when you're coming into a wall, you have to be able to bring your knees, all right, into the wall or towards the wall as quickly as you can to get in and out of the turn as quickly as you can. So this exercise is going to be very effective at firing these abs, firing the hip flexors, and really bringing in that strength and speed that you'll need for those over time. So this is what we call, or what I like to call, an in and out. So you're going to lay on your back. You're going to elevate your feet off the ground. Okay. You're going to raise your head and your arms up off the ground, and then in one swift motion, you're going to elevate on your hips and your glutes and come here, and you're going to, now when you're doing the exercise, you don't want to grab your knees because that also allows you to rest for just a brief moment. When you're not grabbing your knees, everything is still tensing and firing, and it's just a way more effective exercise. So you're going to go from here to here in one quick motion, okay? In and then out is one repetition. Okay, so as quickly and smoothly as you can. Now what you want to avoid is allowing your back to stay on the ground like this, and you're just bringing your knees up like that. Okay, now this can have some benefit, but for the purposes of working on a flip turn or the ab and the muscles that we need for our turns, this is going to be by far the most effective way to do it, and that's to spring up onto your hips and your glutes in one quick motion and avoid grabbing your knees, okay? So I'll send out specific repetitions for everybody to do per group, all right? And then the last exercise, there's a couple different options, and I will specify which groups I'd like to start with in terms of the difficulty level, okay? The beginning or introductory level of this exercise, you're just going to start by laying on the ground. So it's great if you don't have this equipment, if you don't have a Swiss ball, if you don't have a Bosu ball, or even an ottoman, or if you're just not really comfortable or able to really make, pillows or some sort of, some sort of anything work to be able to do this, and you'll see what I mean in a second. But just start on the ground. It's a great way to do it. So I have here a pretty large book, all right? Probably weighs anywhere, right around 7 or 8 pounds. If you've got a 10-pound dumbbell, this will also work, all right? Doesn't have to be heavy. The beauty of these exercises is that we're relying on our body weight primarily to really get the most effective exercise out of it, okay? So I'm going to start with a book for a demonstration, okay? I'm going to lay down on the ground, okay? All right, I'm going to start with the weight at vertical, all right? And then I'm going to bring the weight above my head, only I'm going to hold the book about 3 inches above the ground for anywhere between 3 to 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm going to raise it back up. And now the beauty of this exercise is that it's working your triceps. So when you are at full extension above your head like this, okay, it's going to really work your triceps. It brings in the lats as you're doing it. It also brings in the top area of your core, which is a good area to hit for swimming, okay? Now, if that starts to get a little bit easy, for instance, if you go through a set of 10 repetitions of that, and you really aren't really feeling a whole lot, the next thing that you can do is elevate your feet off the ground, and you can even do a flutter kick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So that is a couple different difficulty levels of that exercise, getting just a little bit more as you work on it. If you have a 10-pound dumbbell, same thing. You're gonna grab the dumbbell, you're gonna hold it vertical above your chest, flutter kick, bring it down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then raise it back up. All right. Now, if you do have a Swiss ball or have a desire to try to use something like an ottoman or elevate your body up off the ground, here's what you're looking for, okay? This is the most difficult way of doing it, and there's even with this varying difficulty levels of this. So I could simulate exactly what the ground is doing on a Swiss ball as well by essentially just resting my shoulder blades on the Swiss ball, okay? So for instance, right here is about the same as if I was laying directly on the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But if I were to walk this way and extend my upper body or rest the Swiss ball a little bit more under the middle of my back or my lower back, this exercise gets tremendously more difficult, okay? So then you're gonna bring the weight this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then raise it back up. It's gonna really fire off your core and build up that strength through there, all right? So definitely some great ways, some great opportunities to really get some effective exercises in there. Legs and core are a humongous part of swimming. Our kick amounts to anywhere between 30 to 50% of our propulsion in swimming. Most, even this, well, 50% is probably aiming a little bit high, but you know, you got a great strong kick. It essentially is the difference maker between being a mediocre swimmer to an excellent swimmer. And so core and strong legs are an essential part of it. One thing I do want to just remind everybody of before I go is that I sent out the dynamic stretching video that's part of the YouTube channel that I set up a few days ago. Please make sure that if you do these exercises or these dryland workouts that I'm sending out, please make sure that you start with the dynamic stretching warm-up. I think the actual stretching portion of it is only about 7 or 8 minutes. The video itself is maybe 10 or 11 minutes. So please make sure that you do that, get your heart rate up, get moving, get loose before you start these. And then whatever the specifics for the workout that I send to your group, it'll be great for you to follow that. It'll usually be anywhere between 10 to 12 reps of the exercise, you know, and we'll go through 10 to 12 on each leg of the lunges, then 10 to 12 in and outs, and then maybe 10 to 12 of the straight arm raises with the dumbbells, and then we'll cycle through all of those maybe 3 or 4 times. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out. If you have any feedback or thoughts on the exercises, concerns about it, I'd love to hear from you. If there's confusion about it, you know, the biggest thing is that the more you guys ask questions, the easier it is for me to clarify, and then we get a little something going, or can keep things going, working on these muscle groups that will keep us a little bit more in shape, a little bit more in tune, so that when we do get a chance to get back in the water, we're able to, you know, hit the ground running and get up and going quickly. All right. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please let me know if you have any questions at all, and stay safe out there. Go Storm.